Howdy folks, the other day we did a couple of videos on the 410 Lee loader tool set, and I thought you might be interested in seeing some of the other shotgun Lee loaders that I have. And of course we already had a look at that 410 one, so we'll just set that aside. We'll have a look at the 12 gauge unit. You can see it comes in basically the same box that the 410 unit came in. And this is for 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch shells. Got a different charge table in this one. This one's copyright 1964, and it gives some loads for red dot, DuPont PB, green dot, AL5, AL7, and unique. So those two Alcan powders are obsolete. We've got another instructions sheet. Actually, for some reason there's two sets of instructions in this one. Probably one set belongs to another loader. Anyway, have a look at the contents of the tool set. Like the 410, it has a die body and a rammer. And these old ones are nice. This is a steel rammer with a steel head on it, which has been chrome plated, kind of nicely put together. And these are kind of unusual too. They've got a snap ring in them with a ball detent, which keeps the ram from falling out. It's actually kind of snapped in there, which is kind of a nice feature. They have a metal decapping and a metal recapping rod. Once again, chrome plated, very nicely put together. We have a plastic powder scoop. This is the 190 powder scoop. And also a very nice adjustable shot dipper. This is an aluminum dipper, steel handle, plastic grip. And this is adjustable from, you can see on the stamping there, it says 7/8 of an ounce. But this also snaps open in increments. So when it's snapped open to there, 1 ounce, 1 1/8 ounce, 1 1/4 ounce, 1 3/8, 1 1/2, 1 5/8, 1 3/4. So there you go. It goes all the way out to 1 3/4 of an ounce a shot. So that's a pretty nice little dipper. Anyway, so that's the 1964 copyrighted version, at least according to the instructions. So we'll set that aside and we'll have a look at one of the other loaders. The next one I'm going to show you is for the 10 gauge 3.5 inch Magnum shell. Same kind of box. We've got a copyright on this one of 1963 on the instructions. And they're not giving you a lot of selection of loads. They're only giving you 2 ounces a shot with either Alcan AL7 or red dot. So this would be for a paper shell with a fiber wad. So you'll notice here it says reduced charge 10% if plastic wads are used where paper wads are specified. Kind of a vintage one. Have a look at the contents of that. It's also got an instruction sheet with it as well. And we've got, once again, an excellent condition set. Probably didn't see a whole lot of use. We've got the similar type of die body, just with a bigger hole in it. This one's got a plastic rammer, which is a little different, a little bit cheaper looking, and it doesn't have that snap ring, so it just slides back and forth and could fall out. Anyway, still a pretty nice die body. We have a big ass recapper here, chrome plated steel. Our decapper is a little bit of a different style. They've just put a an aluminum head on a smaller diameter decapping rod. You can see it's actually marked Lee 10 on it to make sure that you get the right one in the set. Our dipper, red plastic dipper, which virtually appears to be unused, and that's a 258, so that's a big fella. And we've got the shot measure again, 7/8 of an ounce. And I think this one, if you go right to the very last snap, no, I guess with these ones the idea is if you're going to load 2 ounces of shot, you would just set it to the 1 ounce and scoop it twice. So there isn't actually a 2 ounce setting on this measure. It's the same measure that's with the 12 gauge set. So anyway, that's a fairly good condition set, made of pretty good materials except for that plastic rammer. And who knows, that might be a replacement. Maybe the guy lost that and they stuck a plastic one in as a replacement. Alright, that's the 10 and 12 gauge loaders. I've got two 16 gauge Lee loaders here. Let's see the end cap there for the 2 3/4 inch 16 gauge shell. You can see these are in a longer box. And we've got our charge table here, and it's a later dated one, copyright 1975, and it gives loads for 7/8, 1 ounce, and 1 1/8 ounce loads. Put that aside. This is kind of interesting. A big yellow notice on the top here which says, "This kit is equipped with non-adjustable shot measures for your safety, convenience, and economy. There's nothing missing from this box. The extra openings in the styrofoam are for star crimpers, 6 and 8 segment, and the Lee Deluxe Wad Guide. You are urged to purchase these parts for easy loading of plastic shells." So even back in 1975, they were trying to extract extra money out of you. Anyway, apparently this guy actually did buy some accessories because there's some extra things in this set. As usual, we've got the die body. This has got the plastic rammer with the die body. On the far left, we've got a decapper, but in this case, they have gone to a plastic decapper with a metal pin in it, so they've economized there a bit. The recapping rod is also a plastic part. Once again, economy. We've got our powder measure, number 141, in the red plastic. And we've got, instead of an adjustable metal dipper for shot, we've got 3 different plastic ones. This one's marked 253, and it's for 7/8 of an ounce of shot. The next one is the 290 for the 1 ounce of shot. And the last one is the 1 1/8 ounce, and that's marked 326. Now, this person obviously bought some extra bits and pieces. I think this is the original wad guide that came with the set. And you'll notice it says 12 gauge, and I don't think that's a mistake. I think they just used the same wad guide for either the 12 gauge or the 16, and that works in this fashion. You take your shell, you put your wad guide over the top of it in this fashion. Then you would take your rammer and shove your wads in that way, and that basically helps you get the wads started in a plastic shell. That was something that really wasn't needed with paper shells, but when everybody switched to plastic shells, they had to come up with a better system. So that's the cheaper wad guide. I think that came with this kit. And the guy that bought this kit obviously went out and bought the optional star crimpers. Got one here in both 6 and 8 point, and they're marked as unbreakable nylon. And once again, they gave you, or you could purchase the 12 gauge ones because they will work with the 16 as well. If we have a look inside there, you can see this is the 6 segment one, and this is the 8 segment. Most 16 gauge shells you find nowadays will be the 6 point ones. You can see if you shove this over the shell, it'll start the crimp. Anyway, so that's the standard set of tools in 16 gauge, and I also have another one which was sold as the deluxe one. And here's the box here. So it says new deluxe model, now equipped with a new full-length wad starter, 6 and 8 segment crimp starters, and 3 shot measures. So, and this one's also got the same markings on the flap, 16 gauge, 2 3/4 inches. Of course, they've come to the more modern style of box, and the charge table is still the same charge table, 1975. We've got our instructions. I don't know if there's a date on those or not. Anyway, it doesn't matter much. And the contents. Now this is in really super shape. I don't think this one ever got used. I think this is one I bought off eBay a number of years ago as new old stock, and as you can tell, it looks to be virtually unused. Pretty much the same as the other kit. We've got the die body of steel plated with the plastic rammer. I guess there's some wear on that rammer. It probably got used a little bit. We've also got the plastic decapper, the plastic recapper, the same powder measure, and the same 3 shot dippers. We've got the proper, in this case, these are the proper crimp starters. This one's actually a proper 16 gauge one, and that's for the 8 segment. And there's the 6 segment one, so that's the proper ones. The other set had 12 gauge ones in it, so I guess they did make these in the proper size. And the big difference between those two kits is this, and this is the full length wad guide. So this is basically just a aluminum tube with the wad guides inside it, so you'd set your shell down and set this over the top and use your ram to shove your wads down in. So anyway, pretty much the same other than that, and having the proper 16 gauge size crimp starters. So anyway, I guess we'll cut the video off at that. That's probably enough of me talking for one day. And that's all the Lee Loader shotgun tools that I have. So, never know, there might be some more follow me home. I think I'm missing one, actually. I believe I have a really old tool set in the original red box. I'll have to have a look around and see if I can find that one, but I think I have one more 12 gauge set. But if I find that, I'll drag it out and make another video on that. So, anyway, we'll talk to you later, guys.